Such a lively region, a place where almost nothing is motionless, drowned in a concoction of darkness and light, of oddities and mystery. Figuring out anything about this phenomenal biome is going to demand quite the effort. When reading the company description, it quickly becomes apparent that they haven't put in the effort themselves, posing off a generic description of the environment with misinformation at the end. While the inhabitants might face unknown dangers, there aren't any unique hazardous features for dwarves. The kill or be killed rule is no different per region. The fact it's mentioned here makes it seem like the region-exclusive inhabitants pose a threat, when in fact, they do not, as this one aimlessly flies through the caves of the Wealds, not minding the actual scope of the room. Even when its legs are grabbed, this creature remains defenseless, having no option but to continue soaring until the dwarf eventually lets go. One obscure assumption I could make is that these angels feed on bloopy fruits or similar biological curiosities. Exceptionally squishy to the touch, perhaps the purpose these serve isn't meant to be nutritional, but rather a juvenile state of an unknown plant? Akin to the pulsa stickpod. Due to its color palette and cyan tendrils, I'd make a daring connection to the nectar rind flower, as this could very well be a flourishing state of the stickpod, hiding its tendrils when approached by a sizable entity. A gentle creature, such as the hexawing niffer, could take advantage of the flower and feed on its nectar, as it flies from cave surface to another searching for anything it can feed on. It may even catch an alluring light source of the void basket, which could then close its hole shut when a small creature crawls inside of it. Alternatively, the void found inside could feed off of luminance and store it in its basket. Truly an alien idea for an organism. Just as intriguing is the Comba charm. The name of its oval-shaped innard is Comba bud. In the botany world, this can refer to a closed flower, one that has potential to flourish and open up, in layman's terms at least. Going with this theory, it would imply that the Comba charm is an underdeveloped flower of some kind, and what this plant could potentially emerge into is the gherkinchuck. My speculation is purely based off their similar shapes. While the functionality of this plant is unknown, I'd wager to guess it's an air purifier of sorts. Wouldn't be too far-fetched that the Wealds has a distinctive atmospheric feel to the other regions. It reacts to approaching dwarves by puffing out a pink-colored mist. Based on my theory, this may be its way to purify foreign entities. Or it simply releases a ton of spores which would latch onto wandering creatures. If my second take is correct, then it has something in common with the callow cedar. When this tall yellow flower is approached, it will release a barrage of pollen, which are then spread around the caves thanks to wandering creatures and dwarves. Worth noting is that this flower contains quite the unusual pistil. Its appearance is almost uncharacteristic for the region. Perhaps a distant cousin of the cedar is the umbra seeker, a flower that flails around as small yellow particles of bug-like movement gather at its top. Based on the name alone, one could speculate that this flower flourishes on natural darkness, since the word umbra refers to the shadows cast by planets. The final notable flower is the orchis, could be another source of nutrition for the hexawing. It'll quickly shrink up when approached by dwarves and over time reveal itself. The purpose of its hiding evades me, as the plant seems entirely unfazed when damaged. Same can be said about the nectar rind, which also doesn't seem to mind dying to bullets. Pulsating masses of blobs, the auripricot, I believe to be another type of fruit, another potential source of nutrition for the cave angels and any other unseen creatures of the region. I believe it's another type of fruit simply because its name closely resembles that of apricot, a real-world fruit. Now we move on to the unanswerable questions, such as the formations of these bizarre crystals infused with an unknown material. These provide the benefit of defense for anything that approaches it, making me wonder if these are natural formations at all. This could be just one result of the infamous error cube, or a planet mutation left behind by something that once was. Something that once used it for fortification. One that makes dwarves feel a lot lighter is the magic hole, granting them swift movements and greater jumps. Once more, I'd speculate that this formation isn't entirely natural. The source of the lightweight benefits seem to stem from the bright bubbles within, giving me the impression that a powerful liquid material was spilled here. which has only been seeping further into the ground as time goes on, turning it into a deep hole. This material could greatly help with takeoffs into space as its lightweight effects are incredibly beneficial. I wonder if the company is looking into this endeavor. Perhaps they have already been utilizing this technology for all we know. But the risk of bringing back this material is no laughing matter, as some dwarves are known to lose themselves down in the depths. The following tape being a great example of exactly that.
I've been digging around in the dirt my whole life, shackled to the ground with these damn drills, able only to gaze up through the vast expanse of these caves and wonder. Hardly seems fair he gets to be the only one. Seems so routine I doubt he even appreciates the gift he has. No, I have other plans for these. They say every time a loot bug dies, a cave angel gets its wings. I need to see if those old stories are true. By Carl, it's working. The stories were true, and it's beautiful. I finally have the freedom I always wanted. Free of the dirt, free of Deep Rock Galactic, and free of that damn scout. No!
Perhaps that's why this tape was tagged as classified. Azure Weald's unique features accumulate into a strong impression of the deep sea, as if a large chunk of the vegetation adapted to a water-deprived area. Perhaps the unique atmosphere is what truly helps the fauna and flora survive. The flowers we see now could very well be a highly mutated version of what once was. Regardless of that, this region seemingly continues to flourish, containing the most diverse variety of biome-specific features. The few features I haven't mentioned include the roots. They could be sprawling all the way from Hollowbow, a reoccurring theory of mine since episode 1. Wall azef, large leaves found growing out of the cave's walls, and the mysterious light, which dishearteningly breaks the fourth wall, as it's obviously a lazy light source just left in the biome for some reason, which I tried to dress up as being part of the... I give this biome a B on my tier list. And that's that.